Today in this video I take on the challenge of correcting all the egg-cellent mistakes we've been making in the kitchen. Cooking eggs can be a total game changer for any meal, but getting it right can be tricky. A simple mistake can completely throw off the taste and texture of your dish. Eggs are a staple ingredient, and undercooking or overcooking them can be a real problem. Undercooked eggs can be pretty gross, with a runny texture that's just not appetizing. On the other hand, overcooked eggs can be dry and rubbery, which is just as unappetizing. This central challenge of getting eggs just right is something that many people struggle with. Cooking eggs is all about finding that perfect balance between doneness and texture. When you get it right, it can elevate your meals from bland to grand, and that's what makes it so worth getting right. The challenge of cooking eggs is even more complicated when you consider all the different ways to cook them. Boiling, frying, and poaching are just a few examples, and each method has its own set of pitfalls. For instance, when boiling eggs, it's easy to overcook them if you're not paying attention to the time. Frying eggs can be tricky too, as it's easy to burn the bottom or not cook the whites all the way through. Poaching eggs is probably the most difficult method of all, as it requires a delicate touch to get the eggs to cook evenly. Boiling eggs might seem like the simplest method, but it's actually pretty easy to mess up. If you don't get the timing right, you can end up with eggs that are overcooked or undercooked. Frying eggs can be just as tricky. If you don't heat the pan to the right temperature, you can end up with eggs that are burnt on the bottom or still runny on top. Poaching eggs is a whole different story. It requires a lot of practice to get it right, and even then, it's easy to mess up. One of the biggest mistakes people make when cooking eggs is not using room temperature eggs. This can affect the texture of the eggs and make them more difficult to cook. Using old eggs can also be a problem, as they can be more prone to breaking when you crack them. Not stirring the eggs enough when scrambling them is another common mistake. This can result in a plate of tough, rubbery eggs that are just not appetizing. Not cooking the eggs for the right amount of time is probably the most common mistake of all. This can result in eggs that are overcooked or undercooked, which can be a real turn-off. The most significant mistake that people make with eggs is not respecting the simplicity of the ingredient. Eggs are a beautiful ingredient that can be cooked in many different ways, but they don't need a lot of fuss or complication. When you keep things simple and focus on the basics, you can create dishes that are truly amazing. For instance, a simple omelet can be a thing of beauty when it's cooked just right. The eggs are tender, the fillings are flavorful, and the whole thing is just a joy to eat. The key to cooking great eggs is to master a few simple techniques and to practice. With a little bit of patience and persistence, you can become an egg cooking master and take your meals to the next level. By avoiding common mistakes and focusing on the simple things, you can create dishes that are truly delicious and impressive. Join the conversation and let me know about your own egg cooking experiences. Do you have a favorite method for cooking eggs, or a disaster story to share? Check out my other videos for more cooking tips and tricks, and don't forget to subscribe for new videos every week.